let's welcome Dr. Indira Martin, a biomedical scientist from the Bahamas. Let's listen to some of her observations.
Hi, my name is Indira Martin. I am a biomedical scientist and I'm the director of the Bahamas National Reference Lab here in Nassau, Bahamas. So, the reason why I chose this field that I'm in is because I had a love for genetics going into university. I was just absolutely fascinated with it. At the time, Dolly the sheep had just been cloned. And so I chose to go to the university where that had happened. And so I had this very big passion for genetics. And since then, having come home to the Bahamas, I've applied these skills in genetics to the detection of infectious diseases, in particular viruses, but also other infectious diseases. And in particular, we have been involved very closely with the COVID pandemic in providing testing from the beginning of that pandemic here at the National Reference Lab. So in terms of the challenges that I would have seen along the way, one of the biggest challenges coming from the developing world is that we there's a technology gap and a developmental gap between where we are and where the so-called developed world is. So this can cause some challenges in terms of access to materials, to information sometimes. But I feel that our task as scientists in the developing world is to get over these obstacles and find a way to do what needs to be done to build capacity, to ensure that our people have all that they need in terms of the detection of disease and the care for sick persons. So, in terms of my support system in this field, I have to always be very thankful, firstly, to my family, who have always been very supportive. I had an uncle, my uncle Sean, who was he had a very amateur but sincere love for science, particularly astronomy. He was very into astronomy. And I also have some mentors I'm very grateful for. Dr. Perry Gomez, who was one of the key figures in HIV research in the Bahamas and in the Caribbean generally. Dr. Merceline Dalgregis, who has been just a light for us in the Bahamas during this COVID pandemic, but who is our former chief medical officer. So through these mentors and these mentorships, I've really been able to develop as a scientist, as a young scientist, becoming now an older scientist. And I'm also have had a lot of support from my colleagues, from my friends, and in general from the village, all around me. So in terms of the advice that I would give to young girls that are coming up, particularly in this field, I would say that in the past, it's always been a boys' game, if you like. And now that's changing. There is room for the voice of women, and not only women, but for women of color to be had in the sciences. And we have to ensure that our voice is heard, not just on the level of information and knowledge, but actually at the base of how knowledge is acquired. We have to start and make an impact. And we can only do that through confidence, through perseverance, and through passion. So these are the skills and the qualities that I believe we need to hone as young women and as women of color in order to really make an impact in this field of science. Thank you very much.